Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Hey, we've got a new show.
We do.
Absolutely, and they're off right here on the OTB TV network Sunday mornings.
What's it all about?
It'll be a lot of fun. Fast-paced, plenty of topics, guests, handicapping, commentary, and maybe some opinions.
I have opinions on my opinions.
And we will have plenty of them because you're on the show. And they're off Sunday mornings here on the OTB TV network, 10 a.m. each Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. Anthony Mormino, Seth Merrow. We'll see you there.
I'm sorry, I went...
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Racing Across America. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our friends at Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship of this program, some of the other promos and events here at Capital OTB. Gulfstream Park Champions start here. They had the fun President's Day card on Monday with all the races named after nicknames of presidents. We had a big day down at Oaklawn, a nice performance, really both of the stakes races. Gun Runner and one-liner, a 102 buyer, I think Gun Runner a 110 buyer. Big day down at Oaklawn on the holiday. Hopefully you guys had some fun out there with holiday racing. A lot of the major venues open on Monday, and we're back at it today talking about some of that action from the weekend, including the Southwest at Oaklawn with Jeremy Plonk a little bit later, horseplayernow.com, Countdown to the Crown, and more. And a little bit after that, John McGarry from Mahoning Valley will get some ideas out in the Ohio direction for Wednesday afternoon a little bit later on. But as always, the top of the show on a Wednesday, happy to be joined by our friend Shannon Donovan from the marketing department here at Capital OTB. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning, Seth. How are you today?
Very good. And it was a nice weekend. Rolling into a nice week with what they're saying, 63 tomorrow. Get a love that.
Oh, I know. It's going to be very nice. Excellent. Get the golf course out.
Exactly. I'm all for it. And it's funny, there's been some tweets floating around over the last few days. And I guess maybe it's just the weather changing. People are, Saratoga, right around the corner. I'm not pushing it that fast because we still have the Triple Crown season to make. But once Belmont Stakes is over, then I think we are right around the corner.
Well, yeah, you got to tell everybody, okay, calm down, because you know it's going to shift back. We still got about 4 or 5 weeks left of winter.
Yeah,
I always look at St. Patrick's Day and March Madness as kind of the turning point.
Yeah.
And that's when you can start getting a little hyped up. Weather starts changing, temperatures get a little better. But yeah, right now we're just getting teased a little bit.
But there was some good racing over the weekend, and obviously that affects us. And I'm sure there was a nice crowd in here on Monday. Obviously no TV on Monday, so I wasn't here, but I was watching on the network, watching a nice Oaklawn races. And again, the fun day down at Gulfstream. And anytime you get the big venues racing on a Monday holiday, that's always good.
Well, you know what I liked, what Oaklawn did is they put the 2 stakes on the Monday holiday,
Yeah.
which is really nice because most of the tracks they are running on the holiday, but very seldom do they put a stakes races on there. And then for them to have 2 on there, I thought it was terrific. You know, all the eyes went to Oaklawn, and Gunrunner looked tremendous.
Yeah.
Now he's going to Dubai, correct?
Well, they're debating. With the big number, that's now gotten into the discussion, potentially Dubai. But I think after that performance, we now can at least feel like, well, okay, maybe Arrogate's got a little competition this season.
Well, and for us, we hope we get Arrogate and Gunrunner both. I mean, because I'd love Dubai World Cup Day, and the beauty about that is the big race is 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish. But if we get 2 or 3 American horses there with Gunrunner, Arrogate, and maybe a couple others, that brings a lot of juice to the table. Yeah.
And it was a performance that I think says this handicap division may not be a one-man band as we thought a couple of weeks ago. That was a pretty good performance on Monday down in Hot Springs. And again, they're kind of deciding where to go next off of the big number.
Now, what about
fired
Fletcher's
out there.
horse? Where is else? I mean, One-Liner looked tremendous. So where's his next move with One-Liner? Does
again,
he go
that-
to Florida for the Florida Derby?
That was a 102 buyer for him. Still very lightly raced. And they talked in the winner's circle with John Velasquez, and they were kind of alluding, hey, do you come back?
Does he stay at Oaklawn or does he shift to Florida?
With Todd, I don't know whether anything is kind of certain. If this had been a Bob Baffert runner, I think you'd think, he'll come back to Oaklawn and continue
Yeah,
on the
because
trail.
Baffert loves the Southwest there, so he would probably stay right there.
But with Pletcher, I think it's a little bit up in the air where the next start will be with One-Liner. But he looked good as well. I kind of liked him going in. Wasn't thrilled with the price.
And you
on,
believe they can stretch
Monday.
him out, correct? One-Liner?
Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty good the other day, certainly, and that was his first time around 2 turns, and so it was a nice performance. You would think, again, he's lightly raced. We'll see. We're in that period where everybody's still kind of trying to decide. Now, El Camino Real Derby, the folks for Zakharov, the upset winner, they've kind of indicated Derby Trail probably not, although it sounded like they'll try a dirt race potentially
Sunland
down at
Derby,
Santa
maybe?
Anita.
No? Santa Anita instead?
Yeah,
instead
they'll
of
try a
Sunland?
dirt.
Yeah.
They'll try a dirt race at Santa Anita just to see. But then you would think a horse like that who runs well over synthetic, they'll probably go to Turfway and at least try the Spiral.
Yeah, and this week we got Fairgrounds. Everything shifts to Fairgrounds. And the week after we got the Gotham in New York, and then we got the Fountain down at Gulfstream. So just about every weekend now. But it seems like they're all kind of spread out. And the question is, for Florida Derby, is that when they all kind of meet up a little bit?
Yeah, we'll see. We got our fingers crossed because we'll be there. It's live again this year, so that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting next couple of months as we head down the Derby Trail, and we've gotten serious now. We've gotten the 10-point races out of the way. We're now into 50-point races where if you win, you're in, essentially. And there's maybe 2 or 3 horses up on the list at this point, the points list, that are in pretty good shape. But once you get these 50-point races,
Japan horse qualified, right?
Yeah, and the game plan with Japan, I talked a little bit about it. It's a strange situation, but we talked about it on Sunday, and I'm kind of all for it. As I understand it, the laws in Japan say that to take wagering in Japan on a foreign race, a Japanese runner has to be in the field. So the Churchill people obviously want a Japanese runner so that they can tap into that betting market in Japan where they bet a lot of money.
That's a big betting pool. That's a big betting pool because the Japanese, they love horse racing and they like to send it in.
Hand over fist. And so there were 2 races, one back in November and then one this past Saturday, Sunday night, our time, that were points races. Not going into the points for the American horses. This was a separate points system. So they've run the 2 races. They now have the top 3 point getters over there. And the game plan is they go to the first one and they say, do you want to come? Okay. If they come, they're all set. Yeah. If they don't, they go to the second points getter. But they'll only go to the top 3. They won't go any further than that. So there are 3 potential horses out there now. And after Sunday, I still haven't read anything for certain one way or the other about the Japanese, whether anybody has given the thumbs up or not. It's still early, but that potentially, and Lanny was there last year. I think it's fun. It's good, as I said.
Add another element to it, adds another news story, it brings some handle to the table. So.
Which is good for all of us.
Yeah,
if the handle gets juiced up, we all play into
high
a bigger
expectations
pool.
on the horse, but when you look at it's so hard to gauge as a handicapper because you look at the numbers, you're like, what am I really looking at? Yeah. I mean, it's hard to gauge.
Lanny attracted some attention last year and ran fairly well.
Yep.
All right, and I should say last year they didn't have that point. Lanny just came in coincidentally. Lanny got in with the UAE Derby,
right?
Which was but the point system for Japan is brand new this year. All right, let's hit on some of the promos and events here at Capital OTB. And as always, the Bet 50 Get 50 continues through the month of February.
It's a standard monthly promotion that we have, the Bet 50 Get 50. Once you bet the 50, remember you're going to get additional 50 on the next business day, so you just got to do it by the end of the month. We got about 6-7 days left in the month, so if you've opened an account, just make sure you hit that threshold. And then just take advantage, once you're a Capital Bet account holder, just take advantage of all the perks and privileges from the streaming to our account wagering platform. And now on a mobile site on m.capitalotbbet.com, we get OTB TV, so you get the streaming right on your phone, pull it up on your iPhone, log in with your account. Also, we got PPs there, so just take advantage of everything that we're offering on that and sign up today.
And today there is a $200 online Pick 4 promotion with our buddy Brian Netto.
At Gulfstream Park, sponsored by Gulfstream Park. We get $100 on the early Pick 4, $100 on the late Pick 4. The bets are posted right now. 12 o'clock noon, we will choose the 20 account holders. And just remember, if you are one of the 20 chosen, it'll be posted this afternoon. You must wager on Gulfstream Park sometime today in order to share in any possible winnings on the Pick 4. And now, Brian's had some Pick 4s. I mean, he had some good winnings. We put up the archive stats. It's just been kind of chalky, so you got to take what they give you. But the nice thing is he's been cashing just about every time we've done this.
That's what we like. Coming up again today and tomorrow, the 2% cash bonus.
2% cash bonus. Remember now, this is on multiples and exotics. $250 or more on Gulfstream and Aqueduct. Obviously, we don't have Aqueduct a couple days here, so it's just Gulfstream. You got to bet $250 or more. It's an additional 2% on top of the other player rewards that you've already accumulated on the player rewards program. And it must be on multiples and exotics to get the 2%.
All right, coming up Friday, I Want You Here. I get another swing at the happy hour bankroll. My first try this season was a whiff, about a month and a half or so
Get out of the gate early.
Yeah, that's always the game plan with the bankroll, but we're looking forward to it. It's always fun with a big crowd. So, the happy hour bankroll, which includes the buffet and whatnot, should be fun.
Yeah, it's from 2 to 6. 20 patrons chosen here in attendance at the clubhouse. We added a new element, 5 account holders chosen from online. So we'll choose those 5 accounts by Friday, 12 noon. Just remember, if you are the 5 account holders chosen online, you must wager on the account on the day of the promotion. Everyone here in attendance, they're betting along with you. And have some fun with it. And come on down to the Clubhouse Racebook buffet at about 4:30ish. And you'll be here till about 6 o'clock betting off a $500 bankroll.
Yeah, it's always fun. And I love this time of year, so there are a lot of opportunities for me. I love Oakland. I love Tampa.
Yeah, a lot of good races.
So, and then Aqueduct, obviously, and Gulfstream in the mix as well. So we'll look around and try to find some things and maybe give out some ideas during the afternoon. It's fun if you haven't ever come down to a happy hour bankroll, swing down on Friday, because, again, the more the merrier. 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Also on Friday, we have coming up a Fan Appreciation Day, Partners Pub.
So remember, Easy Bets out in Fulton County in Johnstown, right in the village there. Just a few hours, a little happy hour get together, vouchers at the door, programs, and then there's some drawings and complimentary hors d'oeuvres and appetizers late in the afternoon. And that's from 3 to 6.
Excellent. We also have Fan Appreciation Day coming up this week, Saturday at the Menands branch.
Saturday at Menands. The first 50 at the door get a $2 bet voucher. Program is a contest, drawings. There's also, the drawings are on the Match Bet, which is a new program we have. Put in your losing tickets, and you lose a ticket up to a $25 value. If we pull that ticket, we equal that value on the next upcoming race, you get the free bet. So say we pull a $20 ticket, you get a $20 free bet in the next upcoming race. And that's Saturday the 25th down at Menands branch. There also will be complimentary food and beverage.
All right, coming up on Saturday, a $100 online knockout challenge.
Knockout Challenge, and that's going to be, you got to make it all the way through all 6 races. If you do, winner gets a $75 deposit, runner-up $25. Just remember, on the day of that contest, it's sponsored by Gulfstream Park. You must wager on Gulfstream Park on the day of the promotion.
And there's also an online knockout challenge for the VIPs.
Yeah, it's something we do every month now. Top 25 from the previous month qualify for the VIPs. So it's very similar to what we do for the general public. It's just separated for the top 25 account holders. And there's 3 races at Gulfstream and 3 races at Aqueduct, and that's sponsored also by Gulfstream Park.
Gotta love that, the VIPs. And more VIPs on Sunday. Sunday, there's a $50 knockout challenge and a $50 knockout VIP challenge, but those will be here at the Racebook.
Yeah, there's 2 separate contests, one for the general public and then one for our Winner Circle members. So like I said, we always giving back to our general public people and also to our VIPs. Knockout challenge for both on Sunday afternoon.
And I want to toss out there again, this is one of those mark your calendar ahead, but a week from this coming Friday. This Friday is the happy hour bankroll here at the Clubhouse Racebook, but a week from this Friday, we return with the single ticket bounty bet. And again, I just want to say mark your calendar, because looking at the handle numbers, it's becoming popular.
Yeah, it's been tremendous. We had over 200 some participants this last time. Now, March 3rd is our next one. We had 3 winning tickets. Each of those winning tickets were pari-mutually, was $899. Then from the bounty pool, they got paid out an additional $119.
Nice.
So which is terrific. 25%, shared among the 3 account holders that won. So now our carryover is $1578.13 in the March 3rd. That's going to be the late pick 4 at Gulfstream Park. Just remember, we split each time in the month. And we've just added a new modification to the rule, and we're going to change it from single ticket to a single account holder, because there's many account holders that are betting multiples. So we don't want to penalize someone who hits it a couple times under the one account holder where he's got a share in the 25%. So account can take it all down, even if he's got multiple plays on it. And just remember, that must be through your account wagering, and it's always set on a specific bet type. March 3rd is the late pick 4, Gulfstream Park. Yeah,
which is a good modification. That's one of the flaws of some of these bankroll, the rainbow type bets.
But look at that value, $899 on the pari-mutuel win, 50 cents. Now the highest someone invested was like $27 on the pick 4, and then they got an additional $119 back. That's great value. I mean, there's no one else doing what we're doing as far as giving something back on a great promotion like that.
And again, that's a week from Friday. The bounty bet comes back this Friday, happy hour bankroll. Shannon, as always, appreciate the visit. Folks can keep up with the promos and events on the website.
Everything's on the website, all the rules, details, how to sign up at capitalotb.com.
All right, we'll talk next week.
Take care.
Stay tuned. Up next, Jeremy Plonk, HorsePlayerNow.com, Countdown to the Crown. We'll talk some of the 3-year-old action from this past holiday weekend right after this.
Now get all the racing information you need right on your mobile device with Capital OTB's new mobile app. Wager anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone or tablet. Watch, wager, and win right at your fingertips. The new Capital OTB mobile app. Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's touch-tone wagering system and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's touch-tone wagering system is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit capitalotb.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's touch-tone wagering system. Never get shut out again. Championship horse racing continues at Capital OTB. There's no better place to watch, wager, and win than OTB TV and CapitalOTBBet.com.
Want more rewards? How about this? During the month of February, all Capital Bets account holders earn an additional 2% cash back on combined wagers of $250 or more when wagering on Aqueduct or Gulfstream Park. Not a Capital Bets account holder? Now's your chance to join and earn an additional 2% cash back on combined exotic wagers. Plus, when you join, wager $50 and Capital OTB will deposit $50 in your account. That's $50 free. No points, no gift cards, actual cash from Capital OTB.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Wednesday morning, and that, of course, means a visit from Jeremy Plonk, horseplayernow.com, Countdown to the Crown, and much more. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, everybody.
And I say in much more, which made me think, night school, when do you kick off for 2017?
Well, we're working on some details now with our title sponsors, but I believe it's going to be the third Tuesday in March, the 21st, 22nd, something like that.
Okay,
we'll start our seventh season of the Night School, the National Online Fan Education Program, moving towards 250 episodes.
Jeez, not too far away. And again, people can always go to horseplayernow.com, pull up the archives, because there are a lot of the topics you've covered over the years, which are kind of timeless, handicapping topics, which can benefit people at any time.
Yeah, and that's, one of the great things about it is, we've put subjects together over the course of the years that, bring on guests in a radio format. We also used to have live chats. Now we've got well over 100 of the episodes archived in audio format. They're 90-minute lessons. And again, they are timeless. If you want to talk about big budget handicapping or how to attack a pick four, strategies like that work no matter whether you play Delta Downs or Aqueduct, no matter whether you're a winter player or a summer player, almost all of the lessons are transferable over time and over racetracks. There are some specific to handicapping specific racetracks, which are always good. As we get closer to Keeneland, we've got one, for instance, on how to handicap Keeneland that we did last year, and that will be good to get you set for starting that meet in April. So a lot of these topics in Night School over the years can be used again, and we're actually going to do a lot of repackaging and repurposing of them this year, editing them a lot from the past to kind of group them together like best of, mixtapes, where we put together all the best commentary about turf handicapping over the years and put together a best of Night School turf handicapping, things like that. You're going to see a lot of those kind of releases throughout the course of this year, too.
Yeah, that's funny. And, I've been in the television business on the other side of the camera for many years. And going back years and years ago, I was working with a small television production company that had put together doing various things, little feature packages about this area. And it's funny, at one time we were having a meeting, and the guy who ran the company said, Freihofer's, which is the local baking company up here, they go and they make a dough. And then they take that dough and they make donuts and they make coffee cake and they make this and that. And he said, we've got this inventory that we're really not doing anything with. And why don't we, just what you say, repurpose and kind of get this stuff out there to benefit us and to benefit the audience? And you're in the same position with Night School and the various topics you've covered over the years. You now have that archive and backlog that I think you could do a lot with going forward in different directions.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking forward to doing. We're going to do less live lessons this year in Night School as we have in the past, and do a lot more of these kind of best of too. And the one thing we've noticed with Night School, and you probably see this too, I mean, you put on a live show, but you understand the on-demand nature of our consumer out there now. People want to take in something at their own pace, and so an archive of this show will be watched back by and listened back by somebody later in the day. And that's really the nature. We've had a strong audience in Night School over the course of the entire 6 years we've completed, headed towards season 7. But I can tell you that the audience has done almost a complete statistical flip. In that, in the old days, the number of people who attended live on Tuesdays at 8:30, that number was like 80%, 20% would catch it in the archives during the course of the next 6 days until our next lesson. It's gone the other way around. 20% watched live, 80% take it in the archives, and the numbers are still as strong as ever, but it's just being consumed in a completely different manner. So with that and the chance to use a lot of these archives and repurpose them in more digestible ways, some smaller shows, maybe some 20, 30-minute best of instead of the full 90 minutes. Because, look, people are always fighting for time. You're fighting for people's attention online, especially. To get anybody to sit down and do the same thing on the Internet for 90 minutes at a time is a really difficult ask. So we're gonna we're going to mold the program to the customer a lot more this year, and I think it's going to be really successful.
Yeah, that's interesting. The flip-flop of the viewing habits, but podcasting has become so popular. I know I'll listen a lot of times on the way to work or the way home to podcasts, so I can see where that might happen. All right, let's talk about some of the action over the past weekend. And before we get to the 3-year-olds, let me just get an opinion. I talked a little bit in the first segment about it. Boy, Gun Runner looked fabulous, and maybe that says, you know what, it might not be a one-pony show in the handicap division this year.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a ways to go to get up to that Poyero gate. You know, he's kind of really at the top of the mountain, but, you know, like Gun Runner throughout his career, he's never been too far off the big boys. You know, he's always been right there, and maybe that's what teases us to think that he's ready to make that next step forward, but he sure seemed to do that, you know, in the Razorback. That was a big-time performance. Jeez. On a card where we saw several big-time performances, you know, one that kind of gets lost between all the stakes races, Shotgun Cowboy ran a dynamite allowance race.
Yeah.
You know, the Oklahoma Derby winner from a couple of years ago ran really well in some big other stakes races regionally. He looks like a player in that Oklahoma handicap division as well. So I like it. I think the handicap horses have gotten much better in the last 4 or 5 years than what we've seen in past years. You know, we were blessed to see some of these great 3- and 4-year-olds continue on, like California Chrome, and you know, we get Arrowgate back again for a little bit this year. It's a good time to be a fan of the handicap division.
Yeah, there's no question that last year was very exciting, and it looks like this year could follow through as well. And again, before we get to some of the race replays, I want to touch on something from this past weekend in the 3-year-old division. Don't have a replay, but maybe we'll show it sometime this week. There was the race in Japan over the weekend that plays into a point system, and I talked about it on Sunday, talked a little bit again at the top of the show. They've got those 2 Japan races that are points races, but they're separated out from the other point system because clearly Churchill Downs wants a Japanese runner in. As I understand the laws, they can only, in Japan, bet on foreign races if there's a Japanese-based runner in there. So Churchill would love to do it, and they put in this point system this year. What are your thoughts on that? I kind of feel like, yeah, it might take number 20 of the American runners out, but I don't know whether that's going to be a big loss. And you throw in a Japanese runner and A, add some international intrigue, and B, if we could get some of that Japanese betting money over here, it increases the pool, which is good for all of us.
Oh, I think this is a complete win-win-win. It's a jackpot. You know, they created this law last summer. The first major international race that the Japanese bet on simulcasting was last year's ARC. They bet $40 million on the ARC race alone. $40 million on the ARC. Now, the ARC is an international showcase. I think the Kentucky Derby is going to be on a similar popularity. If you're looking at $40 million extra being bet into these pools by customers who really don't know the product, they know their horse from Japan who's running. And it could be like I always make this funny comparison, but remember when Yao Ming was in the NBA and he was the leading vote getter in the All-Star game every year because everybody in China voted for him online? You know, he wasn't the best player in the NBA, but he won the balloting by a mile. Well, this could almost go back to the old separate pool simulcasting days when your regional horse was so overbet. Imagine if a big chunk of that $40 million goes in the win pool on this Japanese entrant. It could completely skew the pool to everybody in America getting a better price on a horse they like. I see this as a complete win. I know the New York Racing Association put a bonus in. I think it might be as much as $1 million for a Japanese horse who runs and wins the Belmont Stakes. There's extra incentive there. They want the Japanese horse here in the pool. And the way Lonnie ran last year in the Triple Crown, I think he showed that a good one does probably fit okay with our horses. He was 3rd in the Belmont Stakes. I like this all around. I have never been a person who complained about who the 19 or 20 horse is who gets bumped out. And one thing to remember this, if you're the 19th or 20th best horse, you're probably not going to win the Kentucky Derby anyway. But what it's done is we have seen excluded horses run 2nd, 3rd in the Preakness, hit the board in the Preakness because they didn't go through the grind of the Kentucky Derby. It's happened over and over. Tail of Verve, the names are escaping me. There's been 3 or 4 in the last 6 or 7 years that have been excluded from the Derby but hit the board in the Preakness. And so it may be a blessing in disguise for that 20th horse who gets bumped out of the Derby, and it's great for the wagering. Great for the wagering.
Yeah, I'm with you on the thoughts, but I hadn't even thought of that angle of I was just thinking, hey, more money in the pool is good for everybody, but I think you're exactly right. they're going to come in and they're going to support the Japanese horse and be maybe a little bit more clueless on the rest of the field. So it really might help all of us over here.
Well, yeah, it's like, remember back when there were separate pool simulcasting, and like if you were betting in New York on the Preakness, you got the odds in New York, not what they were. I always remember when I worked at Remington Park in the years I was there, Silver Goblin was a really good horse in that part of the country back in 1994. He went to the Preakness, and he was like 2-5 in our wagering in the Preakness at Remington Park because everybody was betting Silver Goblin. Of course, the horse in the race was, a double-digit price in the 94 Preakness, but that's the kind of thing that, it's possible. If they all go all in and have a sense of nationalism and are betting, especially we always say the win pool's kind of skewed in the Kentucky Derby anyway because there's more casual money in the win pool of the Kentucky Derby than the other exotics. School teachers and people who only bet the Derby once a year drop 10, 20, 50, $100 on it. Don't bet the exotics, So your exotics may be true to form, but you may see some crazy win pool overlays now.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. Interesting point. All right, let's get to some of the 3-year-old action over here in the United States from this past holiday weekend. The big card down at Laurel featured the Miracle Woods, $75,000 for the 3-year-olds going a mile. O Dionysus goes off as the 4-5 favorite, coming out of a second-place finish to Irish Warcry 2-back. That was the impressive performance. Followed that up running second to High Roller last time. High Roller was the co-second choice on Saturday with Everybody Loves Rudy. O Dionysus, the number 4 horse. Everybody Loves Rudy's number 6. No More Talk, the number 2 horse. And number 7, High Roller, probably the disappointment in here, running 4th. But O Dionysus kind of validates what we've seen over the past couple of races. And I talked on Sunday with Frank Vespi. We were kind of going over these Laurel races, and we agreed O Dionysus is the kind of horse you'd like to own. What are we looking at in earnings? We're looking at, we're getting up close to a couple $100,000, a nice little stakes performer, but don't know if this is really going to be a player on the Triple Crown Trail.
Probably not, and they've got the race to Jimmy Murphy on the undercard Preakness Day. That's 4 3-year-olds. Last year, the winner of this race went on to win the Jimmy Murphy as well. That probably seems a little more realistic. Now, you do know that when you get to the Federico Tessio later in the spring meet at Laurel, that's a win and you're in for the Preakness, so the entry and start fees would be paid towards the Preakness. That may lure somebody into running the Preakness, having the fees paid trip, the win and you're in. But I think realistically, Gary Capuano, and I don't know much about the owners here, Marathon Farm, but Gary Capuano is a pretty realistic horseman, doesn't take horses on big shots. Of course, if you remember back in '97, he had Captain Bodgett and darn near won the Kentucky Derby and darn near won the Preakness with a really talented horse. But that runner was already in Florida by now, and he knew what he had there. I think O Dionysus has taken the path of less resistance, didn't go to Florida like Irish Warcry did after their ding-dong stakes event earlier in the meet. This was a good performance. He was strong on the back end of it. I think he's, clearly the best horse left in Maryland right now. And, High Roller was a disappointment, as you mentioned. I thought he'd make an easy lead here and had a chance to repeat and would be the overlay price of the two. When he didn't make the lead over the Charlestown horse, Poseidon's Prize, it was game over for High Roller. He looked to have a pace advantage that he didn't take advantage of, and O Dionysus benefited for sure. Strong on the back end and a good effort here. He's a good horse. He's not probably a horse, though, for the first Saturday or third Saturday in May.
Yeah, as I said, love to own him, but I don't know whether he's going to be in the upper echelon. Right. But it'll be fun to watch picking his spots during the year. Maybe a similar situation for the winner of the El Camino Real Derby out at Golden Gate on the weekend, 1 1/8 on the synthetic surface. The favorite, the even money favorite, Ann Arbor Eddie. It's Doug O'Neill. It's Redham Racing, coming out of a couple of stakes wins against state breds down in Southern California. Question mark was going to be the surface switch. But Ann Arbor Eddie, the number 3 horse, is going to run second under the wire. But if you watch number 3, Ann Arbor Eddie, you can see that one interfere with another horse. No arguments with the disqualification. The winner is going to be number 1, Zakharov, the rank outsider at 48-1. And subsequently reading stories, it looks like the Derby Trail not probably in this one's future, although they kind of alluded to maybe trying a dirt race down at Santa Anita. But you'd have to think the Spiral's probably floating out there with a horse like this.
Yeah, you probably take a shot in the next step there at the Spiral in March. Nominations, I was just looking at that earlier today. Nominations for the Spiral don't close until March 5th, so they still got some time to throw their name in the hat for that race, and they probably will off of this win because they've got, a nice bankroll earnings in this race of, $120,000. So they can put some of that towards nominating and taking a look at the race like the Spiral. Zakharoff was fifth in the Cal Derby. The winner of the Cal Derby, Stoken Slated, didn't come back for this race. He's going to, he entered in the Risen Star down at Fairgrounds. So you didn't even know the best horse from the Cal Derby wasn't even in here. And yet the horse who comes back who ran fifth in that race is the one who wins. He deserved to be 48-1 in this spot and somehow pulled it off. It was a little bit of that Touch Gold, Silver Charm, Belmont Stakes, if you recall, where the horse on the far outside, Silver Charm did all the hard work on the inside, put everybody away, and just didn't quite see Touch Gold outside of him. And that's probably why Touch Gold was able to go by him that day. Well, that's the same thing here. Ann Arboretti was probably best in this race, put away the other speed. And then when Mario Gutierrez noticed this horse coming way out mid-track and it had all the momentum in Zakharoff, he tried to guide out to get that horse out there. I mean, the chart says lugged out late. He didn't lug out. The jockey was trying to get him out there to find that other horse and get next to him. And that's why he cut the other horse off. And a deserved DQ, a dangerous move by Mario, put another horse and rider in peril to do that. So a justified disqualification. No doubt he's going to get days for that ride. And, but it was a tactic. He was trying to get out to find that horse mid-stretch, and he couldn't get there. And Zakharoff had the momentum and went by. This is not a good edition of the El Camino Real Derby. It hasn't been really effective in the last, dozen years or so. Chocolate Candy, some decent horses have come out of it way back in the, late 2000s. But this isn't a good bunch. They're not going to do much going forward. And
the disappointment, Ann Arboretti, as you say, ran well in defeat. But sheer flattery, the second choice at 5-2 coming out of the third place finish in the Lewis down at Santa Anita for Jerry Hollendorfer, finishes last in the field of 7.
Well, yeah, and this is another one. He got bet in the Lewis off of a muddy track race. How many times have you and I said this? Whether we're talking Triple Crown races or Saratoga in the summer, if you bet horses back off a muddy track win, you better get value on them. They've got to prove it to you all over again. Unfortunately, people overbet horses coming off a muddy track wins time and time and time again, and this was another case of it. Sheer flattery is living off the reputation of a race that was on a skewed surface.
All right, let's take a look at the Southwest down at Oaklawn on the holiday Monday. Grade 3 event, $500,000 up for grabs, 1 1/16. The distance, the favorite in here will be Uncontested, coming off of the win in the Smarty Jones. That was win number 2 in start number 3. The only non-winning finish was a 4th behind McCracken in the Kentucky Jockey Club. So a deserved favorite, but again, that win in the Smarty Jones was over a sloppy track. Well, follows up with a 6th place finish in a field of 12 on Monday. The winner was a horse I liked. I thought a one-liner from Todd Pletcher looked really good in the 2 starts down at Florida. And one-liner, first try around 2 turns, only the 3rd career start. One-liner gets it done pretty nicely at 3-1. Petrov runs second at 8-1, looking at Lee third at 5-1. I thought the winner looked pretty good, and it was a 102 buyer.
The top 2 both ran really well in here. One-liner and Petrov ran big-time races. Now, it's 1 1/16 here at Oaklawn, and they used the entire stretch run at 1 1/16. Remember back to the Smarty Jones at a mile, it finished at the 16th pole, and Uncontested, not only went from, a sloppy track to a fast track, but also had to use the entire stretch run, and it was pretty much about the 16th pole where that runner, started to completely give it up and move out of contention. And so a very, very disappointing effort from a horse who I thought was better than that. But now we see 2 races in 1 1/16 on fast tracks. You go back to the Kentucky Jockey Club against McCracken, and he set the tone that day and faded and finished off the board. You start to just say, you know what? He's probably not a classic distance horse for sure at this point now. And let's take the probably out of there. Uncontested's not a 1.25 mile horse. Could he win a 1 1/8 prep race if things went right? Yeah, probably. But the 1 1/16 started to expose him already. And 1 1/4 seems out of the question. So he's a horse I had highly rated in my countdown poll. I had number 5 off of what he had done and the respect that I have for the Kentucky Jockey Club. In fact, he only got beat a length or so in that one. But I think the handwriting's on the wall now, and this is not one of the Kentucky Derby contenders. Maybe he's a horse who is one of those fresh faces for the Preakness, would do better off in the second leg of the Triple Crown if he's good by the end of the spring. Still, but I think Uncontested went the wrong direction for sure in this race. The top two, though, boy, you had to love them. Woodliner from a tough post position, got good position and really responded nicely for Johnny. Finished up, really looked good visually coming down the stretch. A good come-home time at Oaklawn, 24 flat basically for this horse in the fourth quarter of the race, and that is fast at Oaklawn. Most Oaklawn come-home times are 25, 26 seconds. It's a slow, slightly uphill climb in the stretch, and they don't come home spirited at Oaklawn very often. He did. And Petrov, once again, had to do all the dirty work, right? I thought there'd be more pace in this race where he wouldn't have to be the horse who goes out and chases uncontested and then gets stuck in a bad position. Unfortunately, it turned out that way again for Petrov, but he responded and ran an even better race than he did before, and he put over 8 lengths between him and the rest of the field. I thought he was really fantastic. Petrov, one-liner, both nice ones moving forward. I don't know if either one are mile-and-a-quarter horses based on their pedigree, but their way their running style is right now, there's no reason they can't go from a mile and a 16th to a mile and an eighth and be successful in the press, and that's what we're going to be looking at.
And a question mark I have coming out of the race is Cool Arrow scratched, and about the winner of the Springboard Mile. And it was 3 weeks ago, maybe or so, he was entered in a little turf stake down at Fairgrounds, which seemed like an odd selection, but scratched out of that, now scratched out of this. I haven't read any follow-ups, but I found that the 2 scratches a little bit interesting for this one, who, again, looked pretty good in that Springboard Mile to wind up last season.
Yeah, and, I think Joe Sharp is just looking for the right spot. He shopped this horse around really smartly last year.
Yeah.
He goes from Laurel to Break the Maiden. Then he goes to Remington. Joe Sharp at Remington is not common to run in the Kick to Bill. Then he finds that Spendthrift Stallion Stakes because the horse is by Into Mischief and runs well in that at Churchill. Then back to Remington for a Springboard Mile where he got so fortunate that he looked like the best horse on paper and there was zero speed. I mean, all plotters in that race other than him. He could walk the dog on the front end. Joe has really shopped this horse around. And Cool Arrow's made, almost $400,000, almost $300,000, and done it maybe with smoke and mirrors. I don't know how quite good he is yet, but he shopped him around really efficiently. When he drew the outside post, they went ahead and scratched. When they drew the far inside post, they went ahead and scratched. We'll see if they stay in the Risen Star field this weekend. We'll know where he stands, but he's been shopped pretty judiciously.
Yeah, interesting. You may be right. They may be just looking for the proper spot to get started this year and kind of pick their spots going from there. All right, before we look at that Risen Star, which is coming up on the weekend, I wanted to go back to one more race because in your countdown to the Crown package, you kind of alluded to the first time started out the fairgrounds that may be intriguing to watch, and given the performance, got a little buzz coming out of this, I think. This is a maiden special weight from the weekend down at the fairgrounds, 1.70 miles. Tough distance to make the career debut, but Super Tappet for Live Oak and Mark Cassidy, a son, as you would assume, of Tappet. Super Tappet's going to be the number 5 horse in here. A nice little ding-dong finish with number 7, Multiplier. Multiplier coming out of a third-place finish in the career debut. Super Tappet went off as the 2-1 favorite and does get it done by a chart margin of a neck. And again, you kind of alluded to it, and I think a little buzz coming out of this race. What do you think going forward for Super Tappet?
It's got the pedigree for sure. Like you said, by Tappet, his mama is so impressive. Won the Mother Goose, Grade 1. There on the Naira circuit, really impressive affiliate in her racing career for Jimmy Jerkins. So this is a blue blood, and we always have to caution about timing and excitement when it comes to barns that have a lot of horses, because let's not forget the fact that Classic Empire had a bad week, right? The favorite for Mark Cassidy had the abscess. He announced he's not going to run in the Fountain of Youth. Things are looking bad for the Cassidy barn. Now, all of a sudden, you got one that's got a Thinking Roses again, And so this happens a lot on the Triple Crown Trail over the years from traders who have multiple horses. We tend to get excited for their next thing when something goes bad with their current good thing. And so we got to watch it with Super Tappet, that we don't overrate this performance. But this was a good effort because the horse missed the start pretty much, rallied double-digit lengths, and there was a big gap back from second to third. This is what you like to see. The time wasn't that special, though, compared to the other times on the card that day. And, again, there just might be a little bit of that sense of want. You want Super Tappet to be a good one, maybe more so than what he's proven to this point. We'll have to see.
All right, and finally, let's take a preview of the Risen Star. And we actually talked about this on Sunday a little bit because the past performances were already out. You got to love that. And it's a nice stakes card coming up on Saturday down at the fairgrounds. But for the 3-year-olds, it is the Risen Star Grade 2 event, $400,000, mile and a 16th. And as you mentioned, Cool Arrow back in, entered here. The winner of the Springboard Mile, the winner of the Remsen Motown is in here. So Conflated, the winner of that Cal Derby out at Golden Gate in a field of 14. Sunday, as we talked in preview, I pulled up the maiden win by Local Hero for Steve Asmussen. Off of that, I think Local Hero is interesting. But this morning, we'll take a look back at the Lecomte back on January 21st. Number 6 is going to be Guest Suite. Number 5 is Untrapped. Number 10 is Takeoff. And I talked about it right after this race. The number 2 is Arklow. I thought Arklow runs 4th in here. I really liked Arklow, and I'm probably going to swing back in that direction again this coming weekend. But what are your thoughts going into the Risen Star?
That's not a bad approach. I know you like Takeoff and Arklow a bit going into that last one. I thought they both ran really good and sneaky good races in there, and they're going to be double digits again probably. You know, they both look like Arklow was 6-1 in the last step, but finishing 4th off of that. He'll probably be 8 or 10-1, and I think you'll get a price on the Kathy horse in here again, Takeoff, who was 6-1 and probably rises in price a little bit because Motown's going to take money, obviously, coming in to the stakes circuit for the first time at Fairgrounds off his win in New York and the Remsen. And then you've got Local Hero, who is getting a lot of buzz and attention off that big win at Fairgrounds back on the 26th of January. Also, note, too, with Local Hero, Steph, the runner-up that day, Bridge Traveler in his last race, came back to win the finale on Monday at Oaklawn. So depending on when you printed your past performances, that one may not show up as a next-out winner yet, but Bridge Traveler, that horse did come back and win on Saturday, Blue Ridge Traveler, or on Monday, I should say, on the President's Day card. So good form flattery there for Local Hero. I haven't gotten into fully assessing this race yet, but I know I've been very, very impressed with Guest Suite throughout his career. I think this is a good horse for Neil Howard and one of the ones towards the Triple Crown Trail. Surprised to see him at 6-1 in the morning line after winning the Lecomte at 5-2. I don't.
Oh man, I just noticed that. That seems awful generous.
Yeah, I don't quite get that. And look, he's got a 7-2 favorite in here in the morning line maker at Fairgrounds. So, I don't know if the race is that wide open. There's a lot of horses in that 6, 8, 10-1 range that may drift up a little bit higher than that. We'll have to see how it plays out. But Guest Suite, I think, is one of the ones. I mean, he's got a good style. He can finish. He reminds you a little bit of McCracken. Not quite, he's not quite McCracken yet, but, he ran 3rd to McCracken in the street sense going a 1-turn mile. He's definitely a 2-turn horse on pedigree and trainer and patience. I think Guest Suite's going to be tough. He doesn't have to run a lights-out race, though. I mean, he can run just pretty solidly between now and the Derby, and Neil Howard can get him to where he wants to be. And Motown, you don't know where he's starting off. I mean, this is a bit of a positive sign, I think, that Tony Dutcher wants to run this horse here versus the Gotham.
Certainly was not flattered by No Dozing, though.
No, the form, you're right. The form has not been flattered by anybody out of the Remsen. Tacklepool has run off in a couple races since then. So, but the fact that Dutcher wants to run now and run for $400,000 in a Grade 2 and get the season started, that's a pretty good sign of confidence from the trainer. But the form lines are not flattered, and if you're betting this race, it is a value discussion with Motown. Where do you put fair odds on him? Should he be the favorite? Probably so. He is probably the favorite, but I'm not so sure 7-2 is not wrong in terms of determining fair odds. I don't think you're going to get 7-2. I think it'll be less than that. But 7-2 may be about right in the balance of what you've got to decide on.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting race, a field of 14 potentially in there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm assuming full selections and analysis at Countdown to the Crown on Friday.
Yeah, we'll have all the stakes previews and reviews, but we've got to get hot with that. It's been a little bit of a slow run here the past couple of weeks. Need to turn up the temperature. Hopefully spring will warm us up in the handicapping department. We've gone through a lot of the news on these horses and the analysis, but I got to tell you, I'm trying to be as honest as I can as a handicapper. I have not locked down this crop yet. I'm still in the feeling out stage.
I don't think you're alone. I think it's a season where things are a little bit up in the air, and as we get into this next round, I think things will start to define themselves a little more. Jeremy, as always, appreciate the visit this morning. Good luck over the weekend. And again, folks can find your analysis, previews, and reviews every Friday afternoon at horseplayernow.com. Click on the Countdown to the Crown link, and we will talk again next week.
All right, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Jeremy Plank, again, Countdown to the Crown, horseplayernow.com. As he says, night school returns in about a month or so. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, John McGarry from Mahoning Valley right after this. Stay tuned.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Hey, we've got a new show.
We do.
Absolutely, and they're off right here on the OTB TV network Sunday morning.
What's it all about?
It'll be a lot of fun. Fast-paced, plenty of topics, guests, handicapping, commentary, and maybe some opinions.
I have opinions on my opinions.
And we will have plenty of them because you're on the show. And they're off Sunday mornings here on the OTB TV network, 10 a.m. each Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. Anthony Mormino, Seth Merrow. We'll see you there.
I'm sorry, I went.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit RTN.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Seth.
Before we get to some thoughts for Wednesday afternoon out in Ohio, give us a little update on your weather.
Well, we've had unbelievably warm temperatures for February. There's no snow on the ground. There hasn't been snow on the ground the entire year except for maybe about 5 or 6 days. Temperature today is in the low 60s.
Nice.
We have had some rain earlier this morning. Right now, I want to say the track is probably labeled as good as I look out my windows. I would also say I went and looked at the clocker sheet, and also the past couple of days, the track has been somewhat slow. Times have been a little bit slower than they have been, probably at least a full second or more slower than what we're used to the past couple of weeks, and it seems to be a bit tiring as well.
All right, let's get into it for Wednesday afternoon. Race number 3, plain vanilla $8,000 claimer. They'll go a mile. Your thoughts in the third?
Well, first off, the third race kicks off our Pick 6, the Buckeye Pick 6 27-inch play. We have a carryover of more than $18,800 heading into today's card. This race, like you said, it's an open 8 claimer. Pretty much, even though it's a 7-horse field, on paper it looks like a 3-horse field. I think the 2-horse, She's All That, is the way to go. Had won 3 of her 4 previous starts here while running through her conditions for top trainer and the owner, Elliott Sullivan. Last time out, they stuck her in a starter allowance, and she ran into Flaring Star, who was a perfect 4-for-4 and shipping down from Woodbine. She's All That was caught up in a blistering early battle and then tired in the final 1/8 of a mile. She has trained very strongly since that time. I've seen her gallop because usually Elliott brings them out late in the morning, and she's galloped very strongly since that time, and his barn's been rock solid and razor sharp. Has a good off-track pedigree. I think She's All That's going to bounce back with a winning effort today to off the Pick 6. 5 to 2 in the morning line.
I like it. All right, the sixth race today, an allowance, non-winners of 2 other than they're going to go 3/4 of a mile. What did you see in race number 6?
Well, this is a pretty competitive race, but I landed on the 7-horse, Ideal Quality, for the following reason. Has changed stables since his last start, now in the hands of Julie and Mike Papaduck, very successful duo, and they've been very, very successful. This one has an awesome off-track record and an even better off-track pedigree. Tomlinson number more than 400. For those of you that follow the Tomlinson numbers, you know that means it's excellent by Elusive Quality out of an AP Indy mare. Won on an off-track and finished second and third. Again, similar in his other 2 starts here at the meet, also on off-track. Last time out, didn't have the best of trips. Doesn't show it in the program lines, but really kind of was up against it the way the race unfolded. Like I said, first time in the hands of the Papadas, I should say. And I think Ideal Quality has as good a chance as anybody, and it's 5 to 1 in the morning line.
All right, you have number 5 in there, Call Me Stoney, familiar to those of us up here. Used to be owned by our friend Roddy Valente, the owner of Bustin' Stones, the sire right from our area here, so a familiar name in race number 6. Race number 7 this afternoon, a calendar condition claimer. The tag's 5,000, the trip 5.5. Your thoughts in the 7th?
Well, I landed on the 8, Brett at Caddies. This one's going to be the favorite in my opinion, and deservedly so. Ran his eyeballs out last time out at a big price, beaten as narrowly as you can be beaten. It was an absolute needle point that he got beat on the money on January 30th. That was an open 5-claimer. Now he slides down a notch to a conditioned 5-claimer, draws outside, excellent off-track record, excellent off-track pedigree as well. Also, the horse that beat him last time out, Sharota, came back and won by a city block last time out. The third-place finisher, Zal Woodman, finished second behind Sharota. Both of those were in for an open 5-claimer. And I think Brett's at Caddies really just lays over this field, and it's definitely the way to go here, despite the short price.
All right, John, before I let you go, we had one-liner win down in Arkansas, the Southwest, on the holiday weekend. We just talked with Jeremy Plonk talking about some of the 3-year-old action. Anything jump off the page at you so far as the 3-year-olds? We have the Kentucky Derby Future Pool coming up on the weekend as well.
You know, I've been watching some of the races, and one-liner ran very well, but I don't know who he beat. I think it's hard to have a strong opinion. We're still about 10 or 11 weeks out. Get back to me in a couple of weeks. How about
All right.
that?
No, I hear you. And Jeremy Plonk was kind of insinuating the same thing, that the 3-year-olds haven't quite defined themselves yet. I think as we get into this first round of 50-point races, the Risen Star over the weekend and whatnot, I think we're going to start to get a little more definition. We'll see. All right, John, as always, appreciate the visit. Good luck this afternoon. We'll talk again next Wednesday.
My pleasure.
John McGarry from Mahoning Valley. All right, I will hit some of the promos and events coming up here at Capital OTB as we wind things up. Don't forget, the Bet 50, Get 50 promotion continues through the end of the month for new account holders. Today, there is an online Pick 4 promotion with our friend Brian Nadeau. More information on how you can participate at capitalotb.com. Today and tomorrow, the 2% bonus for account holders betting on Aqueduct and or Gulfstream on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can get that 2% bonus. More information on that, again, at the website as well. Friday, we want to see you here. The more the merrier. Here at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Come down, put your name in the hat before 2 o'clock. We'll select 20 folks to participate on the team. 5 more selected online. I'll play $500 throughout the afternoon and see if we can make a little magic happen here at the Clubhouse Racebook this Friday, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Also Friday, there is a Fan Appreciation Day at the Partners Pub Easy Bet branch in Johnstown. Swing on by and let us say thank you to you for your patronage on Friday. More fan appreciation on Saturday at the Menands branch. Again, if you're a regular there, stop by and let us say thank you to you for your support. It's also Saturday. There's a $100 online knockout challenge and a $500 VIP online challenge. More information on the website on those. And at the Clubhouse Racebook this coming Sunday, a knockout challenge and a VIP knockout challenge. Again, that's Sunday here at the Clubhouse Racebook. So a lot of great promos and events coming up here at Capital OTB. Always want to thank our friends at Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship. Gulfstream Park, champions start here. All right, Racing Across America. We are here every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 until 11 a.m. That means the week continues tomorrow morning, but in the meantime, let's all enjoy the races this afternoon. Let's cash a few tickets. See you back here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB Television Network.
Want more rewards? How about this? During the month of February, all Capital Bets account holders earn an additional 2% cash back on combined wagers of $250 or more when wagering on Aqueduct or Gulfstream Park. Capital Bets account holders already earn the best cash rewards in New York State, but now's your chance to get back even more. Every Wednesday and Thursday through the month of February, receive an additional 2% cash back on combined exotic wagers. No points, no gift cards, actual cash from Capital OTB. Now that's more rewards.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Championship horse racing continues at Capital OTB. There's no better place to watch, wager, and win than OTB TV and CapitalOTBBet.com.
Jake Angelucci on the outside, Ali Chiba. Ferdinand has the lead. Ali Chiba, a final surge. The two Derby winners hit the wire together. Ferdinand and Ali Chiba in a dramatic photo finish.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.